And then we go out in the backyard and we shoot kites out of the sky. Cleto was very advanced sexually. Thank you for joining us on a special night. Today, my friend, our band leader, Cleto, turns 50 years old.
Early Tuesday morning, the world lost not only a talented musician, but also a beloved friend and family man. Cleto Escobedo III, the longtime bandleader and saxophonist for Jimmy Kimmel Live, passed away on November 12, 2024, at the age of 59. The news was confirmed by his closest friend and colleague, Jimmy Kimmel, who tearfully shared the heartbreaking announcement during his show later that evening. "Early this morning, we lost someone very special, who was much too young to go," Kimmel said, holding back tears. "We've been on the air for almost 23 years, and I've had to do some hard monologues along the way, but this one's the hardest." Cleto's passing left a deep void not only in the late-night world, but in the hearts of everyone who knew him. His easy laugh, soulful music, and lifelong loyalty defined a life filled with warmth, joy, and rhythm. Early life and musical roots. Cleto Escobedo III was born in 1965 in Las Vegas, Nevada, to a family deeply rooted in music. His father, Cleto Escobedo Sr., was already an accomplished saxophonist, performing with the band Los Blues before stepping away from touring in 1966 to raise his family. That decision, to prioritize fatherhood over fame, would later shape Cleto's own values and the special father-son bond they shared. Growing up in Las Vegas, Cleto was surrounded by the sounds of soul, funk, and jazz. From a young age, he showed a natural gift for the saxophone, following in his father's footsteps. Friends remember him as cheerful, funny, and always with an instrument in hand. He wasn't just playing notes, he was telling stories through his horn. But Cleto's life wasn't just about music, it was also about friendship. And that's where one of the most enduring partnerships in television history began. A friendship that lasted a lifetime. Cleto's story can't be told without mentioning Jimmy Kimmel, his best friend of over 4 decades. Their friendship began back in 1977, in the suburbs of Las Vegas, when both were just kids. Kimmel, then 9 years old, lived across the street and 2 houses over from the Escobedo family. From the moment they met, the two were inseparable. Not just regular friends either, Kimmel recalled. "We became like 24/7. Mom, please let me sleep over kind of friends. One summer, I slept over at the Escobedo house 33 nights in a row. We were never bored. We were always up to something." Their days were filled with baseball games, cowboy costumes, boxing matches, fishing trips, and endless laughter. They were more like brothers than friends, sharing secrets, dreams, and even awkward teenage moments as they grew up side by side. As adults, that friendship never faded. They became best men at each other's weddings and stood by one another through every major moment in life. Kimmel would later say that there was no one in my life I felt more comfortable with than Cleto. Cleto's rise in the music world. While Kimmel pursued a path in comedy and television, Cleto chased music with unwavering passion. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, he was performing with some of the biggest names in pop music. His incredible saxophone skills earned him touring gigs with Paula Abdul and Earth, Wind and Fire, among others. He became known for his smooth sound and magnetic stage presence. Always smiling, always connecting with the audience. His talent wasn't just in his technical skill, but in his ability to make people feel the music. Every performance was personal. During this period, Cleto built a strong reputation in the Los Angeles music scene, recording studio albums and collaborating with a range of artists. Yet, despite the glitz and glamour of touring life, he always remained humble. Friends often said that no matter how successful he became, Cleto never forgot where he came from, or the people who helped him get there. The call from Jimmy Kimmel. Then came the opportunity that would define the next chapter of his life. In 2002, Jimmy Kimmel was offered his own late-night talk show on ABC. As Kimmel himself later said, "When you do a show like this, you need a desk, you need an announcer, you need a Guillermo, and you need a band." For Kimmel, there was only one person who could lead that band, Cleto. The idea that anyone other than him would lead the band was terrifying, Kimmel said. It had to be him. To make it official, Kimmel arranged an audition with ABC executive Lloyd Braun. Cleto showed up with his father, and together they performed "Pick Up the Pieces" by Average White Band. That father-son energy sealed the deal instantly. Braun loved it, simply said, "I love it," and left the room. From that moment, Cleto and the Cletones became the heartbeat of Jimmy Kimmel Live. It wasn't just a job, it was a dream realized for both of them. Cleto and the Cletones, the sound of late night. For over 2 decades, Cleto Escobedo III was more than a bandleader. He was part of the show's soul. Every night, as millions tuned in, they heard his signature sax and saw his easy grin lighting up the stage. His father, Cleto Sr., also joined the band, coming out of retirement to play alongside his son. It was a rare and beautiful thing. A father and son making music together, night after night, live on national television. For me, as the father of young children, this is the perfect job, Cleto once said. I can do other things if I want, but I want to stay here as long as they'll have me. I will always stay by Jimmy's side. That loyalty defined Cleto's entire career. He once said that Kimmel didn't have to hire him. He could have chosen a famous musical director, but he did out of trust and friendship. Jimmy is very loyal to his friends, Cleto said. He trusted me, and I don't take it for granted. And Kimmel, in turn, always appreciated that trust. The two developed a silent rhythm, one that only lifelong friends could understand. As Kimmel put it, we had our own language. We didn't have to say anything. We'd look at each other, and that would be it. Personal life and family. Outside the spotlight, Cleto was a devoted husband, father, and son. He was married and had children who were the center of his world. Those who knew him say he was a gentle soul, full of humor and love. He inherited his father's warmth and wisdom, and passed those same qualities down to his own family. While Cleto rarely spoke publicly about his private life, those close to him knew how deeply he valued family. He once said in an interview that the greatest joy in life wasn't fame or music. It was being surrounded by the people he loved. Final days in passing. Reports suggest that Cleto had been hospitalized in the week leading up to his passing. In fact, Jimmy Kimmel had to cancel a Jimmy Kimmel Live episode that Thursday to be by his best friend's side. Though details surrounding his illness were not widely shared, the loss came suddenly, leaving fans and colleagues stunned. On November 12, 2024, Cleto Escobedo III passed away, surrounded by loved ones. There were no publicized last words, but the tributes that followed spoke volumes about his spirit and the love he gave so freely. Kimmel posted an emotional message on Instagram. To say that we are heartbroken is an understatement. Cleto and I have been inseparable since I was 9 years old. The fact that we got to work together every day is a dream neither of us could ever have imagined would come true. Cherish your friends and please keep Cleto's wife, children, and parents in your prayers. Tributes and legacy. Tributes poured in from across the entertainment world. Fans, musicians, and television personalities celebrated Cleto's life not only as a gifted saxophonist, but as a kind, generous man who lifted everyone around him. On social media, viewers shared clips of their favorite Cleto and the Cletones moments, his solos, his jokes, his reactions to Kimmel's monologues. Many said the show would never feel the same without his smile behind the saxophone. Fellow musicians described him as the real deal, a player who brought heart to every performance. One friend summed it up simply. Cleto didn't just play music. He was music. Even Kimmel's monologue that night turned into something of a eulogy, filled with love and laughter through tears. He recalled all the small things Cleto did, the notes, the phone calls, the encouragement, and ended with a reminder that echoed across millions of hearts. Always cherish your friends. We're not here forever. Why he mattered. Cleto Escobedo III's legacy stretches beyond the late-night stage. He represented loyalty, humility, and passion, the kind of artist who made everyone else shine brighter. His story reminds us that true success isn't just about fame, but about connection. He bridged generations through music, honored his father by sharing the stage with him, and inspired others to pursue their dreams with kindness and integrity. His life was proof that you don't have to be the loudest in the room to leave an echo that lasts forever. Final thoughts. Cleto's journey, from a kid in Las Vegas playing baseball with his best friend, to leading one of the most recognized bands on television, was extraordinary. But perhaps the most beautiful part of his story is that he never changed. He stayed humble, grateful, and grounded to the very end. As Jimmy Kimmel and millions of fans mourn his passing, the music Cleto made continues to play, on air, online, and in the memories of those lucky enough to have heard it live. Rest in peace, Cleto Escobedo III. You may be gone, but your music and your love will never fade.